Okay. Oops. Okay. Start. You're.
Yep. So it's my turn to plan date night. So it's my turn to ask the question. And you'll love it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Tipping.
Ooh.
You love tipping. So
Horrible idea.
it's like a two-part thing. You're gonna talk about like tipping restaurants, what kind of like your thoughts on that, and then I'll
Okay.
do like services, like hair,
Okay.
what I can think of. That's why I get the easier one. Okay.
Okay. You want me to start?
Yep.
You might
Tell
start
me
my ranting.
tell me what you feel
Oh
about
my gosh.
tipping. And do you do here's to even add on like a part B, do you tip differently at Costa Vida as you do at like tonight we went to Wingwa, a sit down
Mhm.
restaurant? Do you tip differently when all they do is hand you your food and turn?
Yeah, that's when I really have a hard time. In general, I think tipping is a horrible idea. What other kind of consumer thing would you say, hey, you decide how much you want to give me? That's dumb. Second, there has been studies that proven that it's very, very biased. That like racist and sexist and biased and everything.
The cute waitress gets more money
Oh
than
yeah.
the
Exactly. If you have, you know, so horrible that way. If you want fairness and stuff like that, just charge me 20% more and I will pay that. It's the dumbest thing. And then, yeah, to go into Costa Vida, and then you feel guilty because you go to a sit down restaurant, and you know that the waiters and waitresses are getting paid a much smaller wage. And so if we don't tip them at least 15-20%, they're not getting the wage that they deserve, which they do deserve. So don't get me wrong when I say tipping is bad, it's not that I don't want waiters and waitresses to get their what they deserve to earn, but the industry has had that, and so they've restaurants have to mark down their prices, have set waiters and waitresses now they can't expect a constant income. They're a complete bias of what the customer is, no matter. And I don't think it's connected at all to how good. I could guarantee you, it's not connected to how good the service is. Is more of the preferences of the customer. So, see, you got me ranting. That's it's. I think tipping is a horrible idea. We should get rid of it and just increase the charges and just say, hey, look, here's how much your food's gonna be. If you want to have it, come and do it. And serving is part of it.
So here's another question.
Okay.
Part 17.
You're putting a lot of.
I'm putting a lot of parts on these questions.
Yeah, that's not fair.
So we don't live in a perfect world and we have to tip.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you tip more or less? Or do you just always tip straight across the same amount? Besides me, I'm always like, you should give her more.
You influence me a lot.
I like to throw your money away.
I think a little bit how good they are. Honestly, if I know them, I'll tip them a lot more.
We tip Annie a lot
Go.
when we go to Idle Isle. We tip our son's girlfriend pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, I think a little bit I'm influenced by how much the waiter or waitress is, but a lot of times, well, most of the time I try to keep a constant amount. But if I don't, it's because either a lot of times it's the food, how I like the food, not just the service. So I don't think it's always related to the service. And that's why I think it's another problem.
Sometimes when I feel like we've left a mess or we were really hard,
Yeah.
like when we take all the kids into dinner, I feel a little more obligated to tip more. Or if we go to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes with my dad, I feel like we should tip more. Not that he's mean; he just doesn't tip very much. So I always feel like we have to.
Yeah.
Um, Love you, Dad. Dad probably won't ever watch this, so it's fine. Okay.
Or you'll um, encourage me to tip more because I don't tip a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. I'll encourage you to tip more, quite a bit. So
Okay, so what about other services then?
I'm torn on that one, and I feel like I can appropriately be torn on it because I'm in a service industry, right? Or used to
You
be.
were in photography.
Yeah, and sometimes I would get a tip, and sometimes I wouldn't. And the first time I had my hair done, like professionally, I didn't tip for probably years. I didn't know you were supposed to. I didn't know it was like a thing.
See, and
That
that's the
angle
thing
is
is,
terrible.
I don't think the culture is defined that well. And that's the other reason why I don't like tipping, because it's very much dependent on
Culture
what.
based.
Yeah, and you don't know. It's like you go in everything now. I mean, almost everything is like, ooh, do you want to leave a tip? So it's implying you should, but that's not. I don't think that's right either. So
I know sometimes like doesn't change my cert. Like when I would do a newborn session, I would do the equal amount of work regardless of if I knew that person was a tipper or not. But I would say only maybe 10% of the time, maybe 1 out of every 10 customers would I get a tip. I do tip my hair lady all the time now, but I didn't know it was a thing. So
yeah,
sorry, hair lady, I
exactly.
didn't tip you before. Um, yeah, so I didn't know you tipped your service
When I got
people.
my hair cut today, and it's
Did you
like
tip her?
I did, but I'm like their default
Just
is
tell me how much you
17
charge.
or 20%. I'm like, I think that's just charge me more. Sorry, that's
Especially, I think
you've hit a chord to me.
um, entrepreneurs like where we make our own price, we set our own price. If we do it right, we're doing it based off of a cost of doing business, right? But um,
First of all, I have to apologize for the videography today. It's horrible.
yeah, we're not videographers. So we need, and I keep rubbing my microphone. So sorry. Um, we need a stand or something
Yeah,
if we get super fancier. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
It was real good.
I'm sure it was. I
Oh, we
lost
set our own
inspiration.
prices.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I probably didn't get my first tip for a long time, like in my business. And when I did, I was like, oh, I don't even know what to do with this now because I'd never gotten it before. I set my price based off of what I want my price to be, so I don't expect a tip. Maybe if there was a challenging child, like a harder kid in part of
Mm-hmm.
a session or something, but in a
Usually those aren't the ones that tip you, right?
no, actually, yeah, good point. Those usually aren't the ones that would tip me. Sometimes if I got pooped on a lot with the newborn session, I would get a tip.
Your
But
tip was don't hold the baby too close
don't hold
when
the baby
naked.
too close, yeah. Which
I
is
gave you a lot of tips on that.
never given me a tip.
I gave you a tip. I said you should leave the diaper on the baby when you
Nope.
take pictures.
Nope.
That's my tip.
Nope. That's why. Do you ever get tipped? I guess you get a bonus.
A bonus, but I think that's different. I don't know. No,
Do you get the same percentage of a bonus as everybody at work?
no.
Is it based off of your position or is it based off of your quality of work? Like your reviews?
It's bonuses are based on not based on reviews. So there's the profit sharing. Everybody gets the same amount, I guess.
And it's percentage based, right?
Yeah.
Based off of their salary, their income.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. I got my very first bonus ever. Or not bonus, Christmas bonus. So
Christmas
yeah,
bonus.
that was fun. I never.
Did you gonna decide to buy a swimming pool?
No, I'm trying to remember what I bought.
Bonus points if you figure out what that was reference to.
Yeah, name that movie. Okay, that was my question. That was a good one.
Okay. Well, what's your opinion? You didn't share your opinion.
I said I was going to do the service industry.
Okay.
I think.
I want to know your opinion. Tipping in
I
general. Because I was obviously very opinionated.
I tip based off of service.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when they spend a little too much time chatting at my table. I just want to eat dinner with my family or my husband. Or so you actually get less of a tip if you're overly chatty.
But you don't know as a waiter or waitress. You
right? No, I know that. And then, but the other, which is terrible, and prideful, maybe. I also tip to make myself look good. I'll tip higher to be like, look how nice I am, or look how, like, right? Like, we
Mhm.
have enough money to, and that's not,
It's
but that's where the pride comes in.
what do they call that? When you're trying to show other people your status. Anyway,
Bougie.
that's not the word I was thinking about. Okay.
That's next week's question. Oh, I'm going to write that one down.
Okay.
That's a good question.
But do you agree with, in general, do you like the idea of tipping or not?
No, I always feel really uncomfortable, especially like when we got the cupcake that one time in the place in Ogden.
Oh,
And
yeah.
literally all he did was take the cupcake from the cupcake shelf and put
Mhm.
it in on a plate and handed us the plate.
Yeah, and then when you go to check out, it's saying,
Yeah,
"Hey, do you want to do a
yeah.
20%?"
They turn their little POS around and it
And
says
it's right in
tip.
front of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't like that. I think it would be better if everybody just got, like, when you apply for a job and they say this waitressing job is $15 an hour, flat across the board.
there you go. I agree with you. Whew. So pay waitresses more, but get rid of tipping.
Yep, and increase the price of our food.
Yeah.
I'll increase the price of my food so that it can go towards the waitress.
I don't think it'll happen, but that's my opinion.
Based off of this and our 23 viewers, it's gonna happen. We will make change.
Yes.
34. I checked 34 viewers on our last video.
Sweet.
We are famous.
Nice.
We're
Okay.
YouTubers.
We're YouTubers. So what's our sign off? We were talking about that last week.
Oh, I know. So our entrance is, so here's a question, which I don't think we started up today. Our sign off should be,
let's pause awkwardly for 10 minutes.
that's a good sign off. We'll think one next week. That'll be
Okay.
our sign off for next week. We'll find one.
Thanks.
Bye.